George Bilecki here with Zach Cox from NESN Patriots beat reporter. It's week 8 for New England and coming off a win. High vibes when we heard from the players at the podium today. A big matchup going down, taking on the Dolphins in Miami. Again, one of the best teams in the AFC. But a good sign when we were out at practice, Zach. Almost perfect attendance, especially getting a big resurgence back in their pass rush.
Yeah, Josh Uche back at practice today. We didn't see him on the field at all last week after he got injured in the Raider game. We'll see how he progresses through the week, but certainly a good sign that he was able to get back on the field today. Still no Keon White. He was the only player we did not see out at practice today, still dealing with a concussion. Those are probably the most difficult injuries to predict. Sometimes guys miss a week, sometimes guys miss a month, so we'll just have to continue to monitor things with him there. But having Josh Uche potentially back this week would really help that Patriots pass rush, which I thought was surprisingly productive, even without those two guys and Matthew Judon on Sunday.
Yeah, and for the Dolphins, coming off a loss against the Eagles where they were without a lot of starters, Isaiah Wynn, Mike McDaniel saying today he has some time before he thinks he can return to the field for them.
Yeah, really beat up on the offensive line down in Miami. They put Isaiah Wynn on injured reserve yesterday, so he'll miss at least the next 4 games. They've also had dealt with some injury situations at the other O-line spots. So if the Patriots can give the same kind of pass rush performance that they're able to have against Josh Allen, with guys like Christian Barmore, Dietrich Wise, Jawan Bentley getting really active in there, that's definitely going to be a good sign for them this week.
Yeah, that's a front 7 for this defense. In the secondary, one of the toughest tests they'll face once again this season. They go from Stephon Diggs to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Hill was kept in check in week 2. He had a touchdown, just 40 yards, but that was with Christian Gonzalez. J.C. Jackson, Jack Jones back, and he's healthy off the IR. What do you see in this key part of this matchup as these cornerbacks are going to take on some of the best receivers and one of the best quarterbacks in football?
I think you've really seen a restabilizing of the Patriots cornerback group in the last couple of weeks, because you think back to the Dallas game, they were down to their 5th and 6th string cornerbacks for basically that entire game. They were really in a bleak situation at that key position. A lot better now. They've gotten Jack Jones back from injury. They've gotten Jonathan Jones back from injury, and they've gotten J.C. Jackson back via trade, and really have him playing, if not quite up to the Pro Bowl level he was at the last time he was here, pretty close to it. He's been very valuable for this Patriots secondary. I was talking to Patriots cornerbacks coach Mike Pellegrino yesterday. He said Jackson's brought a fresh perspective and a new energy and a new attitude to that cornerback group, and it seems like some of his teammates agree as well. So obviously going to be a very difficult test against this Miami offense. As you mentioned, they kept Tyreek Hill in check pretty well back in week 2. They've actually done a great job against opposing number 1 receivers all season, but it was those complimentary guys that really hurt them, the River Craycrafts and the Braxton Berrioses and the Durham Smythes, all those quick passes from Tua Tagovailoa. So definitely going to need a better game plan to complement and take away some of that quick game stuff that they were able to do so successfully back in week 2.
Yeah, I'd say definitely the strength of the secondary is the depth at safety. They have all the hybrid guys, Jabril Peppers, Jalen Mills, Adrian Phillips, Martu Mapu, as his snaps continue to go up and down throughout the week. But one thing that concerns me, and I ask you about it, is it easy fix week to week, but really poor tackling against the Bills by the secondary to be a lot tougher against this Miami team, which is short passes, catch it, turn up field, get a large gain.
Yeah, Miami just kills you in those catch and run type situations. They've got probably 2 of the fastest, if not the 2 fastest wide receivers in the NFL in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and they love to get the ball to those guys in space. It's a quick slant across the middle, then Tyreek Hill takes it 65 yards for a touchdown. The tackling performance that the Patriots had against Buffalo is not going to cut it against an offense like this, and it was really across the board. You basically couldn't find any Patriots defensive back that didn't have some sort of catastrophic missed tackle in this game, and so many of those came on 3rd down too. 2 of them came on touchdowns, so definitely going to need a cleaner performance in that regard this week, and I think that has to be the number 1 priority for this Patriots defense. You want to force these short passes. You want to have guys like Tyreek Hill not beat you down the field. But if that happens, you got to wrap up. You got to tackle. They have to do a much better job this week.
We certainly saw Tua struggle under pressure this last Sunday, but Mike McDaniel, the genius he is, he'll scheme up short passes, get the ball out quick for him, get in the playmakers' hands, and make them make plays. All right, last thing I want to end with. We always see weird stuff happen down in Miami. Do you buy into it? You get down to South Beach, it's warmer weather, more of a nightlife, that these lead to kind of trap games. No matter what, the Patriots are underdogs this Sunday, but we saw them piece together what they have to do to at least compete and win games. Do you see that kind of being the undoing of them, the fact that it's down in Miami this week?
I mean, whatever the reason for it, whatever the factors at play, the Patriots have just really never played well in Miami. You go back even to the height of the Tom Brady era, they always had trouble against the Dolphins. Dolphins down in Miami. They haven't won there since 2019. I do think that if you're going to place this game in the schedule, I think right around now is a good time for it to happen. It's not week 1 like last year where it's 120 degrees down there. It's not week 18 where the Patriots are used to practicing in snow for 4 weeks, then they got to go down to South Florida. So from a climate perspective, it's probably pretty good to have it right around the middle of the schedule like this. But I mean, these games have followed pretty drastically different scripts when they're down there as well, and for some reason they've just never really been able to have that success in Miami and against Tua Tagovailoa. They still have not beaten Tua since he entered the NFL, so definitely going to have to buck some trends down there if they want to continue this this hot streak recently.
Hopefully they don't catch the bug when you go down to South Beach. You have King of Diamonds and 11 instead of Bijou and Mario.
Stay away from South Beach.
Yeah.
That would be the #1 recommendation.
Sorry for the stray bullet to Boston's nightlife as well. It's not that bad. All right, for Zach Cox and George Blex, before things get even more off the rails, that's a recap. We'll take a look ahead. Of course, we'll have coverage from practice tomorrow as well. NESN.com, NESN360, NESN's YouTube page. It's where you get full Patriots matchup and coverage there. And Zach and Dakota, of course, will be down in Miami this weekend as well.
PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier.